Hello there, families. This is Mrs. Anderson, Angela Anderson. I am one of the kindergarten teachers here at Shaker Road Elementary School, and welcome to our kindergarten orientation. This orientation normally would have happened in our beautiful library at our school, but due to current circumstances that we find ourselves in, this is the way it needs to happen this year. So you have received links done by each of the kindergarten teachers, and from the comfort of your own home, you can follow these links, and each of us have a bit of different information to share with you. So please be sure that you click on each of the links at your convenience with a cup of tea or coffee or a nice tall glass of ice water. You can do this from the comfort of your own home and still receive the same information that you would have received had you come to our orientation night at school. So I hope that you enjoy learning about our kindergarten program, and just know that we are all very excited to begin your child's kindergarten experience with not only with your child, but also with your family. We know that kindergarten is an important year, and it's a year that just about everyone remembers. And we really work hard to make this year, this kindergarten year, a special one. So we look forward to meeting and to working with you and your child next year. So let us start with my portion of the presentation, which is getting ready for kindergarten. As you can see in the picture here, this is a little boy at the front door with lots of chunky magnetic letters spelling sight words, the word me, the word zoo. Your child can spell parents' names, siblings' names, their own name, or even just work with letters. So we highly recommend having nice, big, chunky magnetic letters on a front door is a great surface. I like that better personally than our kitchen refrigerator. That way, at the front door, if they fall down on the ground, they can easily be put back up somehow when you have them at the fridge, they oftentimes go under there. So the front door is a great place. And I keep looking like this because my front door is right over there. And this happens to be my son, Noah, when he was getting ready for kindergarten, using magnetic letters on our front door. And this slide always warms my heart because that little boy, Noah, is going to be 17 this summer. He's going to be a junior in high school next school year. So I always love when orientation time rolls around and I get to see this picture of my little Noah getting ready for kindergarten. So one recommendation for how to get your child ready. All right, so the top one here is super important, which is why we put it on top. Lots of times when people think about getting ready for kindergarten, they think about the academics. They think about letters or sounds or colors or shapes or learning your address and your phone number. Those things are all important in their own right. But the reason that we put this top one in that top position is because this one, if that is in place, it makes all the other ones fall in line so much better, so much smoother, so much easier. And this top one says, review and encourage good manners, listening skills, following directions, social skills, and independence. If your child is ready to do those things, if they're good about following directions, if they're good about listening, using their whole bodies, their eyes, their ears, their voice is quiet, their body's calm, if they're good about using manners, being respectful to teachers and to friends, and if they can work on their own when necessary, when the teacher is working with other children, all of those things, if your child has those things in place, those skills in place, everything will run smoothly in the classroom. So those skills right up there on top are ones that we would appreciate your focus on, and any help that you can give in those areas would be fabulous, and we would be very grateful. And you can imagine that the more children come in with those skills, the smoother our school day can be. The next one, talk with your child about everything under the sun. talking with your child, having conversations, it's a great bonding experience for children and their parents, but also reading research shows that one of the best ways that children can learn new vocabulary is from conversations with adults. So talking with your children is important, not only to have that nice family connection with one another, but also to help your child become a reader and a writer and help them increase their vocabulary. Point out colors and shapes in the environment, playing games like I Spy. I spy with my little eye something that is blue, and the child finds the hand towel or the curtain. I spy with my little eye something that is square. I spy with my little eye something that makes the D sound, and perhaps your child would identify the desk or the door or the dog. Those are fun activities that can be played while you're making dinner, while you're driving in the car, while you're sitting in the doctor's office. Easy ways to keep your child engaged and to keep them learning during times that normally are kind of a downtime. Play games like Candyland, Chutes and Ladders, Go Fish, Memory, and other classics. Give them experiences with taking turns, winning, and losing. That one is super important. A lot of times today, people gravitate towards video games and towards other high-tech kind of games with lots of bells and whistles. And those things have their place and they're fine. But these classics, please don't forget about. These are great ways for children to learn that one-to-one correspondence as they move their game piece across a board. They also can learn how to wait patiently for their turn. They can learn how to win humbly. They can be excited for themselves, but not, say anything negative to the players who did not win. And they can also learn how to lose when you're playing with one or more other players. Chances are sometimes you will win, sometimes you will lose, and children need to learn how to handle that disappointment, how to handle frustration. So that's important. And that's something that when they're at school and they're playing with their peers, sometimes they will win, sometimes they will lose, and they need to learn how to do both. So those kinds of games are excellent for lots of different skills. So please find a place in your home for that kind of classic, simple game such as those. Have your child work on puzzles, another classic and sometimes forgotten activity, but they're wonderful not only for fine muscle skills, pinching and placing the pieces, but also spatial skills, learning what makes sense. I have flowers. Flowers grow near the ground. I'm going to try to find a spot near the bottom of my puzzle for those flowers. Or I'm going to take all of these green pieces because they look like they're all part of that green tree. And I'm going to put them together over here because I think they're all going to be part of that same part of the puzzle. So that's some spatial skills and problem solving skills. Looking at the pieces and seeing like, I have a spot that has a squared corner. So I'm not going to put this curvy part into that squared corner. Where should this curvy part go? Problem solving skills. I suggest that you start out simple with those chunky, like 8 or 10 piece puzzles, and then move on to ones that have 24 or 48, or even large puzzles that you can do together as a family. And when you work on puzzles, when you're doing it with your child, help your child to think out loud and to problem solve. So puzzles are not only for the obvious, for that hand coordination, but for so much more. So please remember to find a place for puzzle making in your child's life. The next one, have your child write with different tools, crayons, chalk, pencils, markers. And when you do those things, encourage the correct grasp. So here's a pencil, and the correct grasp is your thumb and your pointer finger hold the marker or the crayon or the pencil, and then it rests underneath the other 3 fingers. And the reason that that's the best grasp is because it reduces fatigue. It helps your child's hand not to get too tired when they're doing drawing and writing and coloring. When children hold like this really hard, or when they stick it in between their fingers like this and they tend to grip really hard, that hard grip tires them out. And so they start to not want to color or not want to write because it's tiring. It hurts their wrist and their hand. So if you can get them to practice with the correct grasp, like this, and then like this, or something close to that, that's excellent. And starting good habits early before kindergarten will help carry through. And the earlier that you start with good habits, the stronger those habits become. And also the reason to have different kinds of tools is just for novelty, just to keep drawing and writing and coloring fun and interesting. So using different types of tools is always helpful. Give your child opportunities to cut with scissors. That's really important, that kindergarten is not the first place they're using scissors. I know sometimes parents are worried about children cutting things that they shouldn't, such as hair or clothes. But that's where your teaching comes in, where you tell them that scissors are for projects and scissors are for paper. And we don't put scissors to our clothes and we don't put scissors to our hair. We just use it for paper and projects. But it's really helpful if children have experience with scissors before they come to kindergarten. You notice that scissors have 2 holes. The smaller hole is for the thumb only, and the bigger hole is for 2 fingers or 3 fingers, depending on what's comfortable for your child. Encourage your child to keep their thumb on top and to raise and lower their thumb when they're cutting. So the thumb is doing all the work. Okay? And we encourage children to hold a paper and to keep your thumb on top. And as you cut, you curve, and your other hand kind of curves along with. So this other hand we call the helping hand, and that hand curves the paper as the scissors cut. If you notice your child twisting like this and putting their thumb on the bottom, just gently encourage them. Thumb is always on top. And you cut away from your body. Okay, so away from your body and around the page as the other hand, the helping hand, turns the paper. Okay, but this is the important part. Thumb does the work, thumb stays on top. Okay, so please encourage that as well. Help your child learn how to zipper his or her own coat, button or snap his or her own pants, and begin to practice tying shoes. Those first 2 are super important. When they're coming out of the bathroom, they should know how to zip their own pants and how to snap their own pants. Of course, we're there to help if they need it, but the more children can do on their own, the better with that. Same with zipping coats. When we go out to play, the more children who know how to zip their own coat, it makes us be able to get out to play that much quicker. So practicing those things would be wonderful. Tying shoes is a skill that is very, it varies developmentally. Some children are ready in kindergarten. Some children are even ready before kindergarten to learn to tie their shoes. And some children are not ready until 1st grade. If you feel like your child is ready, by all means practice. But if they're not, it's okay. We don't want it to be something frustrating. Leave it and come back to it another time. And in the meantime, while they're learning how to tie their shoes, Velcro is awesome. Having Velcro on your shoes while you're learning to be a good tire is what we would love to see. We often have 20 children in a kindergarten class, so the more children who have Velcro when they're learning how to tie, the better, because sometimes we can spend a lot of our day just tying shoes, because there are so many. So Velcro is a beautiful invention while you're learning how to tie your shoes. And last but not least, please send your child to school each day well-fed, well-rested, and ready for the fun day of learning ahead. We do a lot in kindergarten, lots of learning, lots of play, and having a good breakfast and a good night's sleep is super helpful. So anything that you can do to help with these things and getting your kindergartner ready to school for school would be very much appreciated. And we hope, families, that you had a nice experience listening to this link and that you enjoy listening and learning from the rest of our links. And we look forward to, we look forward to meeting you in person very soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye. Oops. We're still here. We're still learning how to do this. Now I'm leaving. Bye-bye.